Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing another unboxing for the retro collection. Today we're looking at the Star Wars Acolyte wave. So this wave just recently was released. We actually are getting it only a few months after the end of this show, which compared to other releases has been pretty good. And you know, it's funny that probably the most interesting thing with the retro collection is that we had months and months without really much news, any new releases. And then this release comes right on the heels of the release of the Attack of the Clones and the Revenge of the Sith wave that I really just got about a week and a half ago. So it's kind of funny. I do wish that if we're forced to deal with only a couple waves being released each year, maybe to spread it out just to kind of make it a little more enjoyable for the full year instead of having to wait quite so long in between waves and then having them just stacked on top of each other. But that's just my 2 cents. So this wave includes 6 figures from the show. We have Mother Aniseya, Jedi Knight Yord Fandar, May in her assassin robes. Now, we'll say this wave I ordered from Amazon. It came pretty banged up. This card is very bent. The box was dented up, so luckily I'm opening it, but not in very good shape. Next up, we have the Jedi Master Sol. We have Osha Aniseya, kind of in her little flight suit outfit. And last but not least, the Jedi Padawan Jecki Lon. So, obviously the big disappointment with this wave. The nice thing is that we are getting it so close to the release of the show. However, it leaves out, the figure that I would want most, which is Chimere or, Smilo Ren, whatever you want to call him. But I think he was by far the coolest character of this show. But I don't know that we were really supposed to know much about him. So it makes sense that Hasbro wasn't given all the information to make that figure, because they probably had to start production on these well before the show was released. So that's kind of the trade-off with getting figures close to the release date of the show. You may not get all the characters that you want, or you might get better characters, but you have to wait for a year after the show is released. So a little bit of give and take. Unfortunately, I doubt we will ever see any additional Acolyte figures made, especially not for the retro collection. So it looks like these are the 6 figures we will get, and unfortunately we will be missing the Chimere figure. So it is what it is, but we are going to go ahead and open these up and just check them out. All right. First up, we have Mother Aniseya. Actually a pretty cool figure. They really did a lot of detail on the hair. And in the show, her hair was really just a kind of a cool look, I thought. Whether you liked these witches or not, I did think that this was at least a neat character. She does not come with any accessories. And if I was building this wave, this would have been the figure I would leave off in order to get a Chimere. But, but all in all, I do actually like this figure. It's pretty cool. So she has her robes on. It even has some details, some of her rings on her hands. So all those little details are just nice touches. And her long hair that goes both over the front and back of her shoulder. So, yeah. Not a bad figure. Looking pretty cool. I can't lie, though. I definitely am more excited about getting all these Jedi. So we will go ahead and move right along into Jedi Knight Yord Fandar. All right. Here is Yord in his brown Jedi robe. So this hood doesn't really stay up on his head. Looks like a little shallower. It's kind of interesting because I've commented before that I've actually really liked some of the robes. This one's a little more shallow. Actually, if you bring the arms forward, it actually stays on a little better. But this looks good. It is a cloth robe, and if we remove that, we get kind of his golden Jedi robes underneath. Really cool kind of silver wrist gauntlet. I don't know that that's the right terminology for those, but wrist guards, I guess. Maybe some Jedi symbols or something on there, but that actually looks really cool. So for a simple figure, you know, in theory, it looks really awesome. I like this guy. Otherwise, you know, pretty plain with his boots, pants, all that. But yeah, I like the arms. Those are pretty well hidden underneath the robe, at least in package. Now, one thing that I thought was kind of fun that I was thinking of. So this character does have a yellow lightsaber. So I believe this is, other than the retro collection ones, where it was those prototype ones where they all came with different sabers, this is the first official character with a yellow lightsaber since, I guess, the original Farm Boy Luke. But definitely the first figure that actually has a yellow lightsaber that is made for this collection. So kind of a fun little badge of honor for Yord. But yeah, really nice looking figure. Holds his lightsaber really snug. Good looking hair. Stiff joints. Yeah. A couple little marks here, which, you know, sometimes happens on these figures, but overall, I'm actually more of a fan of this figure than I thought I would be. So, very good. I'm going to set him there. And we will go to May the Assassin next. Alright, so looking really nice out of package for May. She's the only figure in this wave that has the vinyl cape or vinyl robe, which, you know, these are the figures that I really, that really just kind of take me back to my childhood, all the plastics, you know, so I like when they pick to do a vinyl instead of a cloth cape. You know, I think for this figure it makes sense. Maybe for some of the other Jedi, maybe not so much, but nice purple color. Kind of got some grease on there or something, but yeah, it looks pretty good. So if we look at her outfit underneath there, she's got her kind of metal chest plate, her chainmail, whatever. The long hair, this is before she cuts it all off. Yeah, actually really nice detail for this figure. I did think this character was pretty cool. Probably May was my second favorite character after Chimera in this show. So I like this one. This looks pretty cool. And, you know, if we compare it to the last wave that came out with the Padme figure, this one does not seem quite as small and frail as Padme did. So she seems, you know, from a scale perspective, I think fits pretty well against the male figures. So looking good. She comes with two of her little daggers. So we'll see how those fit. Yeah, that fits pretty snugly there. We'll get the other one in her left hand. Maybe. Okay. Right hand definitely fits a little more snug than the left, but overall they're not falling out, so that's good. Yeah, looks pretty nice. Now, one thing sometimes with these figures, unless the robe is or the cape is on just right, it's almost longer than their legs, so to have her hands forward a little bit to get that cape off the ground. So, all right, next up, Jedi Master Sol. Okay, here we have him. So Sol's cape, now we're back to cloth. So this is almost more like a felt cloth for the other Jedi robe. This one is real sheer material, real light. Obviously, you know, different color. Does fit on him pretty well. but it's all connected in the front, so we'll have to take that up and over his head. So really getting a wide array of different types of cloaks in this wave, which I'm not against. All of them look pretty good, so I can't complain too much. Interesting that they are making them such different styles. But so if we look at Sol, he's got his nice gold kind of tunic on underneath. Pretty simple. This one's a lot more simple than Yord's, which I think kind of falls in line with just their character anyways. But yeah, looks good. His hair looks pretty good. Not bad. And then, of course, he comes with his blue lightsaber. Try to get that in his hand. Yeah, he holds it really snug. Looks good. There is Jedi Master Sol. So, actually, I'm going to put his cloak back on. I do like that you don't have to slide this one over his, or slide each arm through there. So, there we go. All right, 2 figures left. We'll look at Osha. Okay, so here is Osha in her kind of flight suit. Got the short hair. You know, I don't really love, so the May figure has the mask over her face, which I think is a cool look. This figure, I don't really love the face sculpt a ton. Not sure that it really resembles her much. And again, you know, granted, this is all in the scope of the retro collection. I realize it's not supposed to be super realistic, but maybe not a huge fan of how this one looks. Now, probably the best part of this figure is that she does come with her little droid, and I'm going to be honest with you, I forget what this droid's name is, but I did really like that character in the show. I'm not sure if she can hold it. Now, these are all the little things like that would really just set a figure apart for me. If this droid could attach to her chest pocket, you know, if there's maybe a way to clip it in there, something like that, or maybe on her belt loop. I did kind of try to look. It does not seem like that's the case, so it will just have to be handheld, which is fine. You know, but those are the things that really set apart figures. When we look back, you know, even from the Ahsoka wave, we have those HK droids that where their blasters fit on their back. That's just such a cool touch. Would have been a nice opportunity for something like that, but that's okay. Then she has her pretty chunky blaster there as well. So a couple nice accessories. I actually like the accessories more than this figure for this one, but definitely a character you need in this wave, and it's not too terrible, so I'll take it. All right, and then we have our Jedi Padawan, Jecki Lon, as our last figure. Okay, so here's our Padawan. So we're back to the cloth kind of felt style robes here. It's got her hood. You know, again, maybe not the best hood for coverage over her head, but not terrible either, so it looks pretty good. If we take that off of her, you know, so this is a child figure, so she is going to be slightly shorter than Osha, not by much, honestly, but nice gold robes, you know, and it's kind of interesting. So I think they've been kind of in the High Republic era trying to create a theme of all the Padawans having a belt that matches the color of their saber. So this, I believe, is supposed to be a green, although it looks a little bluish green to me. But that's something that we've seen in the comics for the High Republic, as well as the Young Jedi Adventures that takes place in the High Republic era. So kind of a cool touch. I've noticed that like the Jedi Knights and Jedi Masters don't have that, but they did have that as a feature on the Padawan. So, but just in general, and I do not remember what type of alien she is or what type of species she is, but really well done just on her sculpting there. Try to get a close-up of her face. Little horns on her head. Now they could have put a couple speckles on there. She almost has like a, cheetah print on her temples, but they left that off just to be a little more simplistic, which is fine. So, but otherwise, I really like this figure. It's cool. And then she does have her green saber. No, it came in the package a little bent, so hopefully that'll straighten out a little bit. But we are getting a nice array of saber colors in this wave. So we have the yellow, the blue, and now the green. Her hands are quite small, so I did have to just kind of pull her fingers apart to get that saber in there, but she does hold it pretty snug. So yeah, looking good. So nice little kind of round out to the wave. And regardless of what you think about this show, these figures I actually like a lot more than I thought I would. So I would say, maybe, unfortunately, you have to buy the whole wave. But there's probably, I'd say probably a good 4 of these figures are definitely worth it. And unfortunately, like I said, this is probably the only figures from this show that we are going to receive. So I would recommend it, and from here, we'll just have to wait and see what we get. Like I said, I'm a fan of this wave. I have really liked a lot of the other waves from the shows, especially the Mandalorian waves, the Ahsoka wave, the Boba Fett wave. Big fan of those. I like a couple of these figures more than maybe I enjoyed the show. So we'll see. I would love to get a wave from the Skeleton Crew, and maybe have that announced pretty shortly after that show begins next month. I think some of the pirates, and of course the kids would make a really fun wave for that show. Unfortunately, I think it would be the 4 kids plus Jude Law's character and maybe 1 pirate. Whereas in my opinion, I would love to get maybe 3 or 4 or 6 pirates. So we'll see what they do. Hopefully they continue to do kind of a mix of new content. I do think that there's some value to these, but also going back to the originals, getting some of those figures for the Cantina, and then, finishing up A New Hope and then move on. Let's get some more Hoth figures from Empire, and just kind of go from there. So definitely a lot of options. Unfortunately, we haven't heard any news about what's next. We have heard some hints that it will be original trilogy. So my hope is an original trilogy, Cantina Aliens set, and a Skeleton Crew set is what we will be getting hopefully early next year, and then we'll go from there. So anyways, let me know what you guys think about this wave. Let me know your thoughts about what you want next. If you enjoyed this video and made it this far, please leave a like on the video and consider subscribing just so you can stay up to date with all of our Star Wars Retro Collection reviews. Anyways, thanks for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.